If Israel launches a ground offensive into Gaza, its forces will have to deal with a sophisticated network of tunnels under the territory. These are used by Hamas and other Islamist groups. Perhaps hundreds of kilometres long, the network is known as the Gaza Metro.
One of many Israeli airstrikes on Gaza, this one targeting Gaza's tunnel network, according to the Israel Defense Forces, or IDF. Destroying the tunnels used by the militant Islamist group Hamas has long been a priority for Israel's military. The network runs underneath Gaza, connecting its cities, running to the border with Israel, and also connecting the Strip with Egypt. The tunnels let militants store weapons, launch attacks, and are believed to contain Hamas command centers. Gaza's tunnels are also lifelines to the outside world, passageways for importing essential goods as well as weapons under a long-standing Israeli blockade. This animated video released by Israel shows what they supposedly look like inside. Militant Islamist Hamas has been developing the tunnel network since they came to power in 2007. Recently, Hamas claimed the tunnel network is 500 kilometers long. Hamas and other jihadist groups use tunnel exits, basically holes in the ground, to launch rocket attacks on Israel. The launchers are then brought back underground. That makes them nearly impossible for Israel to see or target. Israel has tried bombarding the tunnels in 2014, in 2017, and 2021 to destroy the network, without success, but with significant civilian casualties. The tunnel network is reportedly woven underneath marketplaces, apartment blocks, and hospitals.
Let's pick this up with Kobi Michael, who's a senior researcher at Israel's Institute for National Security Studies. He joins us from Tel Aviv. Welcome to DW. So how has Israel figured these tunnels into their plans for the presumed coming ground offensive?
Good evening. The only option to eliminate, to destroy, to demolish this huge infrastructure is by ground force operation, ground force entrance to the Gaza Strip. It cannot be totally eliminated from the air, and this is exactly the next stage of this war, and it will take a while. I mean, it's not a piece of cake. It's not a 6-day war. It's going to last weeks, even months. But the first stage that I assume that will last something like 2 weeks will deal with the most significant centers of gravity of these tunnels, of this infrastructure. And later on, we will have to continue to clean the entire Gaza Strip from the north till the border with Egypt in order to finalize the issue and to accomplish the mission.
Right, OK. So we have a situation where we're essentially talking about urban warfare, going house to house, street to street, complicated by the existence of these tunnels from which Hamas militants can just pop up and launch any number of surprises at Israeli forces. This has been described by many people looking at this situation as just a trap waiting for Israel to walk into.
Yes, Hamas is waiting for us. They took into consideration that after such a barbaric attack, there will be a ground force entrance, and they prepared in advance traps. I believe that they know what is at least in generalities, what is going to be the Israeli modus operandi, and our job is to surprise them and to do something that they do not expect us to do.
Right.
And this is the reason that we have to accumulate very accurate intelligence. We have to exhaust them. We have to remember that they are 14 days under the ground. It's not so easy to be such a long period of time under the ground. They are exhausted, and they will be more exhausted. And we will come with our surprises. And I believe that at the end of the day, all of this infrastructure will be demolished.
Right. So, and a further complicating factor is that we are presuming that the hostages are being kept underground in these tunnels near Hamas control centres, waiting for Israeli troops to perhaps kill them in their efforts to destroy the Hamas infrastructure.
Yes, you're right. And this is something that dramatically complicates all the operation. This is, by the way, I think, one of the reasons that we are not there yet, because I believe that the Israeli strategists in the IDF think about very creative ways to rescue hostages. But there is no doubt. I mean, not all of the hostages will be or will come out alive. We have to understand with whom we are dealing. We are dealing with barbarians, murderers, and at the end of the day, they must be eliminated, all of them, from the first to the last.
Right.
And in the very same time, Israel has to do all the efforts together with the international community in order to pressure Hamas. And Hamas must understand that the civilian hostages are liable and not asset. And if the very wrong principle of selection will be realized here, it will be terrible. Because the idea that Israeli citizens that hold another citizenship will be distinguished from the other Israeli citizens, it's something that cannot be tolerated. Right. I don't want to take you to the Holocaust, okay? It's enough that to go back to Entebbe, 1976. But this is something that cannot be done.
Okay,
this is
that's
something
understood.
that will weaken us vis-a-vis Hamas.
Thank you for joining us and outlining that for us. Kobe Michael with the Institute for National Security Studies.
Good night. Good evening.